What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to the Save Continue Newscast. My name is Ryan Robinson. This here is Tom Shelby.
Good morning.
That's Shanae Howard.
Hi.
Every week we get together with news stories from the previous week that we thought were interesting and wanted to share with you guys. This week we have stories from the week of December 17th through December 23rd, 2017. First up, Civilization.
So Civilization 6 has the full game has come to the iPad, not Android yet though.
Cool.
Weird.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of watered down version it must be to run on a mobile platform.
How new is that game?
It came out last year.
It said the full game.
No, I'm sure it's the full game, but it's still got to be watered down as far as graphical fidelity in some way because it takes a pretty decent PC to run that game.
The last time I saw Civilization that I can remember on a mobile platform was Civilization Revolution, and that is not a pretty version of that game.
Yeah.
So
That's cool, though.
Yeah. What's happening with Fallout, Shanae?
Obsidian has put out a statement that their next Fallout title will not have any loot boxes or microtransactions.
Okay.
Granted, that's coming from Obsidian, not Bethesda, but yeah.
I would not expect it to.
It's kind of one of those things that, like, developers and publishers just say, and then you're like, there was no reason for you to say that, right? Like we got with Housemarque.
Yeah.
And, like, the whole arcade is dead and our next game won't be an arcade game. Like,
why didn't you just
say that?
Why didn't you
could have just made your next game?
But it is making a statement about, like, you know, people obviously don't want it. There has been backlash.
Well, at the Game Awards, Bethesda was, like, super heavy-handed on single-player experiences and no loot crates and things of that nature. Like, that was a recurring theme of theirs during that show.
Yeah.
But
also, it's one of those times where, like, I wasn't thinking about it till you said it.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's still, you know, people.
I mean, it's not bad.
People are making their opinion known on it, and at least people are, like, developers are at least listening and being, like, making that point, be like, hey, this isn't gonna do that.
Which is funny considering Bethesda's previous stance on fan opinion.
That's Obsidian, not Bethesda.
Sure. Okay. So apparently, sure. Okay. So apparently, Apple is making it a requirement that you disclose the odds of loot boxes in games released on their platforms.
Yes.
So if you were
wondering, like every game, basically.
Yeah. Like basically every game, right? Because every time you play a mobile game that is free to play, you always expect to see that best value loot box. So that's going to be a requirement too. Some games have already been kind of transparent of what you can expect with their loot boxes or whatever, but now it's kind of a requirement across the board.
I like that.
Yeah.
Also, I just happened to notice, like, apropos of nothing, I happened to notice that Apple took down a what appeared to be a Cuphead clone.
Oh yeah.
On the Apple Store.
So Studio, what is the studio called?
It's a bunch of letters.
No, the Cuphead developers, Studio HDMR. That can't be right.
It's probably close.
ASMR.
Yeah, Studio ASMR. they tweeted out when they saw that. And they were like, hey, please tweet at Apple about this to get this taken down.
Yeah.
Which is funny. If you go on to the App Store, there are a fuck ton of games when you type in Cuphead, right?
Yeah.
With obvious reused assets and things inspired by Cuphead on there.
Yeah.
But this game was straight up like screenshots from the actual game Cuphead.
Which it's
and called itself Cuphead.
Yeah. Which is like, it's funny because at this point, I kind of don't really think twice about it, because especially considering, you know, developers like to advertise their games on social media a lot,
right? And
a lot of the time it's with stolen assets when they do it. So I've gotten to the point where I'm just like,
God, I wish I could remember that fake PUBG. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
PubQ.
And what was it? It wasn't chicken dinner.
It was turkey dinner.
Turkey. No, it wasn't turkey dinner. It was just turkey.
Just turkey.
Yeah. So fucking funny.
Yeah. I mean, what do they expect? I'm joking. Don't steal games. Also, there's a game museum in Oregon who is asking for exemption for defunct MMOs from DMCA. Which, sure, but I don't know. What do you think about that, Tom?
Yeah.
You know,
it's whatever.
Yeah. People want to keep those games alive, especially that made me think of all those times where people would start up a like their own server for games like World of Warcraft or Ultima Online.
Yeah.
In fact, in my times playing Ultima Online, I've never once played on an actual server that was owned by EA before.
I mean, my whole thing is like, yeah, I think games preservation is important. There have already been games that have been released that we can no longer ever play, right? It's already happened.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, yes, there's same for films and albums and things of that nature, but those are much older than video games are, right?
Yeah.
But, like, as far as things going into a museum, which I respect that, and I think it's great to be able to go there and see that sort of
Indiana
stuff.
Jones says it belongs in a museum.
You're not going to be able to play those MMOs.
Sure.
Just because this museum has it, so
Unless someone wants to build and maintain their own server,
right?
Which, I imagine is a lot of work. What's going on with Activision?
War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron,
Yep.
Rise of the Dark Spark, Devastation, and The Legend of Korra have all been delisted this week.
Yeah.
I had a friend recently going through my Steam library and saying, why you have a lot of games here that you've never touched.
Yeah, that's why.
Why do you buy all these?
That's why.
Because you never know when they're going to be gone.
Yeah, they don't give you any warning.
Yeah.
You just do it.
And, some of those are not good games, but some of them are very good games.
Sure.
And, yeah, they're gone. Activision has declined to comment on it. I would assume it has mostly to do with licensing, considering all of these are licensed games.
Sure. It's strange because I don't know if that's changed in the past few days, but when they were delisted from Steam and PlayStation,
They're still on Xbox.
yeah. Isn't that weird? Why do you think it works that way?
I don't know. I'm sure they have different contracts as far as dates and when things go up and go down on different platforms are different days, right?
Yeah.
We know PlayStation gets things on Tuesdays. We know that Nintendo gets things twice a week. Yeah. It's kind of all over the place. I imagine if it's not already down, it will be very soon.
What about Nintendo, Tom?
Yeah, so Nintendo Power is coming back, this time in the form of a podcast.
Okay.
Hosted by Chris Slate. If you guys don't know him, he was the old editor-in-chief of Nintendo Power. I've seen a lot of people excited for this. I'm excited to listen to it. I think it's, publications that are made by the company that owns that, that brand.
Media.
Is a little strange. So like,
but at least you know where the bias is coming from.
Yeah, exactly. When you see things like reviews from Nintendo Power or reviews from Game Informer, those are things I typically don't consume. But it doesn't mean you can't get excited for different things in Game Informer, in Nintendo Power, right? So I think it's cool. I'm going to give it a listen.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you know where where it's coming from, it does make it a lot easier to kind of see what's bullshit and what might be actually valuable information.
Did Nintendo Power had reviews, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Did they ever review a game poorly?
Of their own?
Yeah.
Not that I know of, but I've not read every Nintendo Power by any means,
Sure.
Why not?
No, I don't know. Couldn't tell you today.
You have failed the city.
I'm Arrow.
Sure. What's going on with Sega?
Yeah, so Sega and the company Retrobit. So if you guys don't know Retrobit, they're pretty well known in the retro gaming scene for different peripherals, controllers, things of that nature. So they're collaborating with Sega on different Sega accessories, including Saturn accessories, Dreamcast, and Mega Drive. Those are the three they've listed so far. A lot of publications are taking this and running with it, saying, oh, this means that a Dreamcast Mini is coming.
No.
So if you hear that, I'm not saying it's not happening,
but probably not happening.
That was not anywhere expressed in the press release on this, and I think it's just people,
being
people are getting excited for nothing. It could happen. It very well could happen.
I just feel like they're getting themselves.
It's not confirmed. So if you see that, don't take it with a grain of salt.
Sure.
I'll make a Dreamcast Mini. It's not going to be good.
What's up with Xbox?
Microsoft Poland tweeted out this week that keyboard and mouse support is now running on Xbox One.
Oh, finally.
It was immediately taken down.
Oh.
So that's coming. They didn't want you to know about it yet, but that's coming.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Took them a while, but they got to it. And NPD, got some numbers for us, Tom?
Yeah, so what I have here is the top 20 NPDs for the year.
Here we go.
Now, I just want to say a few months ago, when everybody was bitching about World War II,
Yeah, Tom was there.
I said that's going to be number one,
He said it.
just like last year.
Hashtag Tommy told you.
While it didn't sell as good as the last Call of Duty, it was in fact the number one game on NPD.
Yep.
Number two, everybody out there bitching about Star Wars and loot crates. They didn't bitch enough, or you bitched and you still bought it, because that's number two.
I feel like it's probably the latter.
Yeah. So, interesting thing about that, EA has for a long time been a company who doesn't really care about what their perception is, like how they're received by their audience, right?
Yeah, I still bought them dollar bills.
Right. They're a business and they care about making money, and that's fine.
Sure.
And they've done so with Battlefront 2. They've made a lot of money with Battlefront 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also know that it didn't sell as well as the original Battlefront. We do know that their stock dropped drastically, that they lost shareholders over this. So it's weird. Will they continue with this? Will they try to correct it? Who knows?
Probably.
3, Assassin's Creed Origins. 4, NBA 2K18.
Huh.
5, Madden NFL 18. 6, Super Mario Odyssey. 7, FIFA 18. 8, Need for Speed Payback. 9, Destiny 2. 10.
Wait, what number was Need for Speed?
8. 10, Ultra Sun. 11, Ultra Moon. 12, Shadow of War. 13, GTA 5.
Still there.
Still there.
Lucky number 13.
14, Sims 4 still there. 15, Zelda. 16, Mario Kart. 17, Wolfenstein 2. 18, South Park. 19, WWE 2K18. And 20, Just Dance 2018. The interesting thing about NPDs to note is that this counts physical and digital sales except where excluded. So Nintendo does not give them their digital sales. So all these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's just physical.
Nintendo games is just physical.
Which is impressive.
If digital was included, these would all probably be higher. So
Sure.
for Nintendo to have 5 games in the top 20 for the year without their digital sales counted, I think is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing to mention is Battle.net does not share their digital sales, so Destiny 2 would probably be higher as well.
Yeah, I was surprised about how low it was.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
So
That's the year. Done.
I wonder if then, because I don't.
Wait, Last Guardian isn't on that list?
No, dude.
So I wonder if they're just counting the console versions of Destiny then.
Well, yeah, because as far as PC, that's the only place where it's available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, that's the news, guys. As always, if you have any stories that you want to pass along to us, you feel free to email us at savecontinuepodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook at Save Continue Podcast, or
Sure.
just join the Discord.
Sure,
and
just join it. Just give it that click.
Just give us a shout
Come talk to
at
me.
Discord. My name is Ryan Robinson. This here's Tom Shelby.
Bye-bye.
Shanae Howard.
Bye, guys.
See you next week.